Summertime and the living is easy. Another English lesson coming live from England. Oh, yes, it is. Hi, everybody. Hello there. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope so. Welcome to another live stream for a Sunday afternoon. It is just after 2 o'clock here in the UK. I don't know what time it is where you are because I don't know where you are watching, but maybe later you can let me know. Is that a good idea? I think so. So how are you today on this rather strange day here in the UK? It was sunny earlier and then it started raining and now it's sunny again, but I have a feeling that later on it's going to rain yet again. What a pain the rain is. Don't you think so? So here we go. It's Mr. Duncan, live English for the next 2 hours. Have you had a good week? My week has been very busy. First of all, we had a very hot week this week. We had record-breaking temperatures this week. The temperature this week here in the UK got very high. Here is the weatherman to show you just how high the temperatures got this week. You can see the temperatures here in the UK this week got as high as 34 degrees Celsius. That is very hot. So this week we have had the hottest day this week since 1976. Because way back in 1976 we actually had a drought here in the UK. Maybe not many people know this, but I remember it because I was alive in 1976. I was around as a child and we had a very hot summer. The summer of 1976 was one of the hottest ever. In fact, it went on for so long that we actually had a water shortage. We actually had a drought here in the UK. So that happened in 1976. But this week we had the hottest temperatures in the UK since 1976. And you can see there in London it was 34 degrees during the week, and Cardiff 30 degrees, Sheffield 26 degrees, Birmingham, hello, I come from Birmingham. Yeah, alright, yeah, I come from Birmingham. In Birmingham it was 30 degrees. Meanwhile, here in Much Wenlock in Shropshire, it was around about 29-30 degrees Celsius. So a very hot week. In fact, I was here on the hottest day of the year. I was here on Wednesday broadcasting live. Did you see my live stream on Wednesday? Just in case you missed it, you can watch all of my live streams. In fact, everything that I've ever done on YouTube can be found on my YouTube channel. There it is. All of my lessons, my playlists are in fact under this video. So underneath this video are all of my lesson playlists right underneath this video. So if you want to check out all of my lessons, you can have a look underneath this video, and the playlists are there to make it ever so easy for you to find my lessons. And of course, don't forget, I have been here on YouTube teaching English for over 10 years. Incredible. Oh, wait a minute, my spinner has stopped. My little fidget spinner has stopped going round. There it goes again. Can you see it? Do you have one of these? Do you have a fidget spinner? If you do have one of these, perhaps you could show me later. Maybe you could take a picture of you playing with your fidget spinner. Ooh. Also today, I want to tell you about my busy week. I went to the dentist this week. Now, if you are a regular viewer, you will know that I hate going to the dentist. I hate it so much. It's on my list of the things I hate most. Mushrooms, fresh kidneys, going to the dentist. I think those are my most unfavourite things in the whole world. It's true. I don't like eating kidneys, I don't like eating mushrooms, and I really, really don't like going to the dentist. My dentist is lovely though. He's a really nice guy. He's so friendly and polite, and he always explains what he's doing. Now, Duncan, I'm going to open your mouth and I'm going to shove my hand right in there. That's nice. So I've been to the dentist. A little bit later on, we are going to have a look at one of my YouTube videos where I talk all about a very bad experience that I had at the dentist many years ago. So that coming a little bit later on. Also yesterday I did something very stupid. I did something so stupid yesterday. Yesterday I went into town to have my usual lunch for a Saturday afternoon. That's what I did yesterday. And whilst eating my meal, I actually bit into my tongue. So now I have a huge hole in my tongue at the back where my teeth crunched into my tongue. Do you ever do that? Do you ever bite your tongue? And it's so painful. It's painful at the time, and then afterwards it hurts even more. It's such a painful thing, biting your tongue. So yesterday I bit my tongue, and now I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? There, I've actually injured my tongue. Now my tongue comes in very handy for many things, but the most important thing that I use my tongue for is talking. In fact, my whole work relies on me being able to speak. So if I can't speak, I can't work. So today I am actually in pain. So please, I need all of your sympathy today because I am suffering today. I'm really suffering. So I have an injured tongue. The back of my tongue is all chewed. I actually bit it yesterday by accident. So now it is very painful. In fact, it's very difficult to speak today. Every time I speak, I'm actually in pain. So now I know how you feel. Also, yesterday I went into town, and what else did I do this week? I did something else this week, didn't I? Oh no, I know what I've done this week. I was spying on Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve was in the garden. In fact, this was today. This happened today. Would you like to see Mr. Steve doing the gardening? He's outside at the moment, tidying the garden. Would you like to see Mr. Steve gardening? Oh, okay, let's go. Here we go. Here is Mr. Steve. There he is doing the gardening. He's working very hard there. Can you see? Can you see what he's doing? He's actually sweeping up the leaves and all of the dead weeds. There he is. Say hello, Mr. Steve.
Hello. Hello, my name's Mr. Steve, and I'm doing some gardening because Mr. Duncan never does it because he's a lazy
Mr. Steve, you are not allowed to swear on my show unless it's absolutely necessary. So there he is working very hard. Mr. Steve, this morning in the garden, he's preparing the garden because later on I will be going outside to give you some flash words and flash phrases. Where's he gone? Where's Mr. Steve gone? So there is what Mr. Steve is clearing up. Can you see all of the leaves, all of the cuttings? because yesterday he was in the garden cutting all the bushes. So today he has to clear up all the mess. Can you see? Can you see the mess in the garden? So there is Mr. Steve busily working away. We will rejoin Mr. Steve a little bit later on to see how well he is getting on with cleaning the garden. I had a question this week come in from one of my viewers asking, Mr. Duncan, I saw this phrase on the TV this week. Someone was talking about a politician giving an interview, and they described the interview as car crash. What does that mean? What does it mean, Mr. Duncan, when we describe something as a car crash interview? So this particular phrase is often used when something goes badly or when something is disastrous. We can describe it as a car crash. So a car crash is a pretty disastrous thing. Two cars crashing into each other. So we can use car crash to describe something that went very badly, something that went really badly. So there it is. So a car crash interview is an interview that went very badly. Maybe the person being interviewed performed badly during the interview. Maybe they couldn't answer the questions. So when we describe an interview or a discussion or something that we've seen involving people talking as a car crash interview, it means that the interview went badly. It went disastrously wrong. We have lots of people on the live chat. Don't forget, you can chat to me live because we have the live chat. It is now open and live on YouTube at 2:15 on a Sunday afternoon. It is Mr. Duncan in England saying hello, and I hope you are well today. Lots of people joining me on the live chat. Jedrej says, hello, Mr. Duncan from Poland. Hello to you. Thank you for joining me today. Eric is here. Hello, Eric. How are you today? Are you okay? I really, really hope so. Welcome to my live English lesson. Maria. I'm talking to a girl called Maria. Hello, Maria. Thanks for joining me today. A happy Sunday. Yes, it is. I'm very happy today. I've had a super week, even though yesterday I bit my tongue and now I'm in pain. So every time I speak today, I am actually feeling pain. It's not very nice. Hello, Mr. Duncan. How are you doing? Hiroko is here. Thank you, Hiroko, for joining me today on the live chat. Now, today I was going to try something experimental today. I was going to try something out to see how well it works. But I've changed my mind. I was going to try and use Skype today. But I've changed my mind about that because I realised that to do Skype on a live broadcast is not actually easy. It's not as easy as I thought it was. So I was going to do some live Skype today with some of my viewers, but unfortunately, because it's so technical, we're not, basically. I've never done it before either. I've never tried it before. Yahusa is here. Yahusa, hi there. Hi to you as well. Where are you watching at the moment? Where are you? If you want to get in touch with me, if you want to contact me or stay up to date with what I am doing with my English lessons, well, perhaps this information will help you. So there it is, live English all the way. You can get in touch with me through my email address. If you have one of these little fidget spinners, maybe you have one of these. Can you see it? It's very good for relieving stress, apparently. So if you spin this and watch it, it can help you to relax. Also, it can help you to keep your concentration for longer. So there it is. Do you have one of these? If you do, please send me a picture to my email address. The address coming a little bit later on. Also, you can see it behind me as well. So keep watching. The email address will also appear behind me. So if you have one of these, perhaps you could show me or send me a photograph of you playing with your fidget spinner, because these are all the rage now. Everyone is playing with their fidget spinner. Back to the live chat. Oh, a nice voice. Thank you. Sakura Chan says, nice voice, Mr. Duncan. Thank you very much for that. Besides my injured tongue, I also have hay fever today. I've been suffering with hay fever over the past few days, so I have been feeling a little bit unwell because I have hay fever. If you suffer with hay fever, you have my complete 100% sympathy, because it's not very nice. Some questions to ask you today. We have the mystery idioms coming very soon. Also, some questions to ask you today. Besides the mystery idioms, we also have some general questions. Here's one. What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done? What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done? When I was younger, when I was a little more adventurous, before I went old and fusty, I used to own a motorbike. Would you like to see my motorbike? This is what I used to ride around on. So in my younger years, in my young misspent youth, actually it wasn't that long ago. This picture was taken in, I think it was taken in 2001, this photograph. So this photograph was taken, I think it was 2001. And there I am on my motorbike. And I think riding a motorbike is quite a dangerous thing because, well, for obvious reasons, if you fall off a motorbike, you are going quite often at high speed. Also, you will fall onto the hard tarmac and injure yourself. So riding a motorbike is very dangerous. There I am, many years ago, on my motorbike. And I had this motorbike for about 3 years. And then I went to China to work in China. And then after I returned from China, I carried on riding it. But in the end, I actually sold it because I had to raise some money so I could buy some equipment to make my YouTube videos. So not a lot of people know that I did actually sell my motorbike so I could make these YouTube lessons. It's true. So the most dangerous thing that you've ever done. The most dangerous thing that you've ever done. Is there something that you've done in the past that was very dangerous or risky? Perhaps you did something like bungee jumping. Have you ever done bungee jumping? That's where you jump off a high building or a high place attached to a large piece of elastic. Personally, I would never ever do bungee jumping. Never. Although I did used to ride a motorbike, and a lot of people say that that is a very dangerous thing to do. So have you ever done anything dangerous in your life? We also have the mystery idioms. Would you like to have a look at today's mystery idioms whilst we have time? Coming up to 2. I've already been here for 25 minutes. It's going very quickly today. So, mystery idiom time. I don't know why, but today's mystery idioms make me laugh a lot because I think they're very funny. So here we go. Here is today's first mystery idiom. There it is. What? What is that? What are we looking at?
Here, Mr. Duncan, what are we looking at? It looks a bit bizarre.
So there it is. There is a well-known phrase in English. But the question is, what is the phrase? It is a well-known English phrase, but what is it? Oh. And the second one, the second mystery idiom is this one. What is going on there?
Here, Mr. Duncan, we think you might be taking too much hay fever medicine.
So there is today's second mystery idiom, but what the heck is it? What is it? I have no idea what it is. And there is the first one, the first mystery idiom, but what is it? If you think you know the answer to either of those mystery idioms, please let me know through the chat box. Would you like to see a YouTube lesson? Yes, I'm sure you would. Here we go. I mentioned that during the week I went to the dentist. And in the video you are about to see, I talk all about my dentist horror story. Growing up is not the most pleasant of events. It is often filled with scary moments and unpleasant experiences. Of all the upsetting and traumatic moments from my childhood, one in particular still lingers strongly with me. I would have been about 8 years old at the time, and I had to go to the dentist for a multiple extraction. This procedure involves the removal of many teeth at the same time. In my case, it was 10. Yes, I had 10 teeth taken out in one go. This is normally done whilst the patient is under anaesthetic. In those days, they often used nitrous oxide to put you to sleep. Many of you will know this particular substance as laughing gas. So try to imagine the scene. An 8-year-old boy under anaesthetic having 10 of his teeth removed. If that wasn't bad enough, after the procedure ended, I was not fully revived. I had not come round from the anaesthetic, which meant that my parents had to carry me unconscious through the dentist's waiting room and out to a waiting car. My only real memories of this event include the moments just before the laughing gas was given to me via a large rubber mask which was placed over my face in the dentist's chair, and much later as I came round from the anaesthetic itself, at home. Even to this day I can still recall the foul taste of stale blood in my mouth, not to mention the strange sensation of having 10 of my teeth suddenly vanish. This horrific experience put me off going to the dentist for many years. Needless to say, these days a trip to the dentist is not as traumatic as it was in my childhood. Modern dental surgeries are more welcoming and the procedures are over much quicker. Of course, even now, going to the dentist still has its unpleasant moments. The worst part of it for me must be the scrape or scale. This is where the dentist removes the hard plaque that is built up at the base of the teeth with a sharp tool. This particular scaling procedure can be very painful indeed. It all depends on how badly affected the teeth are. So, the more you look after your teeth, the shorter the scaling procedure will be. These days, people are becoming more used to taking care of their teeth on a daily basis. So much, in fact, that nowadays doing your own dentistry is becoming commonplace. There are lots of wonderful gizmos and tools available now for cleaning your teeth thoroughly at home. Things that poke, things that scrape, things that squirt, and things that buzz and hum. Do-it-yourself dentistry is becoming the norm, with home dentistry kits now available for purchase on the internet. Although I wouldn't do it myself without having had some form of guidance or training first. Surely one of the worst dental procedures of all must be an extraction. An extraction is where a tooth is literally pulled out of the jawbone, just like I had when I was 8. Some people even pull their own teeth out. I can't imagine anyone wanting to pull their own teeth out. Can you? These days, most dental work is carried out with the patient awake and conscious. This includes the drilling into and extraction of teeth. Normally, a local anaesthetic is used in the form of an injection into the area of the gum where the procedure is to be carried out. The injected part of the mouth will become numb, thus ensuring that the procedure will be a painless one. How often do you go to the dentist? Do you like going to the dentist? When was the last time you went to the dentist? Neglecting your teeth is not a good thing to do, as when you get older, they will become unhealthy and fall out. Bad mouth hygiene has also been linked to other physical ailments, such as heart disease and certain types of cancer. Fortunately for me, I learnt my lesson before my teeth became too bad, which is definitely something to smile about. So there it was, one of my lessons. In fact, that was from last year. And it was the story all about my dentist horror visit. The visit to the dentist that scarred me for life. I was well and truly scarred right in here. And since that terrible experience when I was 8 years old, I hated the dentist a lot. But now I go to the dentist again. I've started going because, well, I'm getting older and I want to make sure that my teeth stay lovely and white and not smelly. There's nothing worse than smelly, stinky black teeth. Don't you think so? Nothing worse. If I had a choice between losing my hair on my head and losing my teeth, I think I would always lose my hair. So it doesn't worry me that I'm losing my hair. But what does worry me, what does frighten me, is losing my teeth. I would hate to lose my teeth. So there it was. We have some other things coming later on. We'll be talking about morning routines as well. I will be taking you through my morning routine. What does Mr. Duncan do?
Yeah, what does Mr. Duncan do when he wakes up in the morning?
We'll be taking a little look at that. Would you like to see Mr. Steve in the garden? Mr. Steve is very busy today. He's been in the garden doing lots of things. There he is. Look, there he is. He's cleaning up all of the dirt and all of the leaves He's being very busy today. And the reason why he's doing it is because a little bit later on we will be out in the garden with some flash words and some flash phrases as well. So there is Mr. Steve now, and can you see what he's doing? He is brushing. Mr. Steve, brush the lawn. He is brushing the lawn. Now the thing in his hand is also called a brush. It is in fact possible to use nouns as verbs. So as you can see, Mr. Steve is now brushing all of the leaves up. So brush can be a noun or a verb. You can say, I'm going outside to brush the leaves up. I'm going outside to brush the leaves. So you can brush something. You can also brush your hair as well. So it is possible to brush your hair. So brush can be the noun. It can also be the verb, to brush your hair. If you have a look behind me, you can see a list of words that can be used as both nouns and verbs. So there are some words right behind me that you can take a note of. So there they are, all behind me. Also, a little bit later on, we will have a look at a lesson talking all about nouns and verbs. That coming a little bit later on. Back to the live chat, because a lot of people are on the live chat today. Thank you very much for joining me, by the way. Thank you so much. Diamond Eyes is here. Hello from Thailand. Hello, Diamond Eyes. I hope you are well today. Najuan Tien is watching in Vietnam. Hi to you. Hello, I'm Rita from Hungary. Hello, Rita. Thanks for joining me today. Viet Vo says, hello, Mr. Duncan. Long time no see. Long time no see. You haven't watched my live streams for a very long time. Okay. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Mr. Duncan, Nicole from France is here. I love your hat. Do you like my hat? It almost looks like something that a person in Australia would wear, but without the little things hanging down. It looks a little Australian. In fact, I purchased this. I got this hat from Turkey many years ago when I went to Turkey. So this hat has come all the way from Turkey, and I thought I would wear it today. Something different from my usual baseball cap. Hello from Algeria. Jamelia is here. Hello, Jamelia. Thank you very much for joining me today. So what is the most dangerous thing that you have ever done? What is the most dangerous thing that you have ever done? That is one of today's questions. And as I mentioned earlier, a few years ago, I used to ride a motorbike. So there I am on my motorbike. Have you ever ridden a motorbike? Maybe if you are watching in Vietnam, because I know that many people ride motorbikes in Vietnam. And many years ago, I used to also ride a motorbike. But then I sold it. I sold it so I could buy some equipment to make my YouTube videos. So what is the most dangerous thing that you've ever done? So mine is riding a motorbike, because of course riding a motorbike is a very risky thing, a very dangerous thing to do. It can be. Louis Barquin says, hello, Mr. Duncan. I am Miguelis. Oh, hello, Miguelis from Mexico. And I'm saying thank you very much for everything. You are welcome. You are welcome. No problem at all. Alain is here. Hello, Alain. I'm very glad to connect with you today. It's my first time. I live in the north of France. near Arras. Well, did you know that my descendant, my actual family originally came from France? So I am descended from French people. Oh, but I'm not French myself. I wasn't born in France, but my distant relatives were French. Did you know that? I think not. Shira Blade is here. Hello, Shira. Thank you very much. Thank you. Your real name apparently is Peter. So that's Peter in Brazil. Peter says, I am a policeman. Are you really? My goodness. So technically my life is very dangerous, but I like it. The fear makes me feel so alive. So Peter in Brazil is actually a cop, a policeman. There are some other words that we use here in England to describe a policeman or a policewoman, but I'm not going to tell you what they are today because they're very rude. Mr. Duncan, I am Dang Hui, watching in, I think you are in Vietnam. Julie G was very surprised to find out that I was going to use Skype today, but I've changed my mind because technically it's very hard to do. So I was going to try and do Skype today on my live stream, but I've changed my mind. Do you have a morning routine? What do you do in the morning when you wake up? What do you do? What are the first things you normally do in the morning? A little bit later on, I will tell you all about my morning routine because I think a lot of people are interested in these things. I don't know why, but they are. Pinit is here. Hello, Pinit, watching in Thailand. Hi to you. I'm glad that you've come on early today. Well, normally I'm here every Sunday. Don't forget, I'm here every Sunday. I'm live on YouTube every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. So you can catch me live on YouTube every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. That is when I am on YouTube live. And don't forget, you can also watch all of my lessons. My playlists for my English lessons are actually under this video. So right under this video you can see all of my lessons, all of the playlists for my lessons. They are under this video. Yes, they are. Back to the live chat. Lots of people saying hello today. Oh my goodness, I am overwhelmed. Gloria Trindade, I hope I pronounced your name right. We'll call you Gloria, shall we? The most dangerous thing I've done is bring my little brother for a walk to a very dangerous jungle where there were lots of dangerous wild animals. Thank you, Gloria, for that. Yes, that doesn't sound very safe. It sounds a little dangerous. So, have you ever done anything dangerous? I used to ride a motorbike many years ago. All of my friends used to think I was crazy for riding a motorbike. They used to say, "Here, Mr. Duncan, why don't you buy a car? A car is much safer." Well, back then I enjoyed riding motorbikes. So that's what I did many years ago. Claudio says, hello, I am Claudio Fernandez, learning lessons with YouTube every day. Thank you very much for that. What an unusual look you have today. You look more like an American. Really? So this hat, if I wear this hat, I look like an American. Do Americans wear this sort of hat? I'm not sure about that. I've never seen Donald Trump wearing a hat like this. Never. Andre is here. Thank you, Andre. Marco Alvarado or Alvarado. Hello, Marco. Marco is watching in Australia. A big good day to you. I've just knocked my water bottle over. Excuse me. I've got my water here today, you see. I just knocked the bottle over, proving that it's live, you see. Mr. Duncan, hello from Milan in Italy, says Pasquale. Hello, Pasquale. Thank you very much. Hi Fung says, Mr. Duncan, I drive my motorbike every day, about 50 kilometres. That's quite a long way. So you ride your motorbike. Is that for transportation to work? So when you go to work, or when you go to school maybe, or college, do you ride your motorbike? I used to ride motorbikes. I used to love motorbikes when I was a teenager. And when I was a little older, I did buy myself a motorbike. Would you like to see it again? Here I am, riding my motorbike. This was taken in around about 2001 was when I bought this bike. And I sold it. When did I sell this bike? I think I sold it in 2009 or 2010. That's when I sold this. I had to raise some money so I could make my YouTube lessons. Have you ever done anything dangerous in your life? Please let me know. So, what is Mr. Duncan's morning routine? Would you like to know what I do every morning when I wake up? By the way, if you missed the mystery idioms, if you missed them, don't worry, I will repeat them in a few moments. Here we go. Today's morning routine. This is what I do every morning when I wake up. Can you see it there on the paper? I've made a list of all the things. And this is what I do every morning when I wake up. Well, first of all, I open my eyes. That makes sense. I have a smile. It's true. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is actually smile. I have a little smile to myself just to get me in the mood for the rest of the day. And then I have a little stretch. I'm sure you do too, but I like to have a little stretch. I like to stretch my arms and my legs when I wake up in the morning. I also put my glasses on. I haven't put that down. Why haven't I put my glasses down there? My glasses are very important. In fact, as soon as I wake up, the first thing I normally do is reach for my glasses and put them on. So I've actually missed that from the list. but that's what I do. Also, what else do? I go downstairs and I make a cup of tea for myself. And then I come back upstairs and normally I watch about 20 minutes of South Park that has been illegally uploaded to YouTube. It's true. Then finally, I get out of bed. Then I go to the bathroom. I have a wash. I wash myself. And also I have a pee-pee as well. My morning pee-pee. And then I clean my teeth. Then I get dressed. I go downstairs. And then I go into the kitchen and take my breakfast. So that's my normal routine in the morning. That's normally what I do. I wake up, I put my glasses on, I smile, I stretch, I make a cup of tea. I watch 20 minutes of South Park that has been illegally uploaded to YouTube. Then I get out of bed, I go to the bathroom, clean my teeth, get dressed, go downstairs for breakfast. So there is my morning routine. What is your morning routine? Do you have a routine? Do you have things that you do normally every morning? Let's have a look at the mystery idioms, because a few people are asking, where are the mystery idioms? There is the first one. No one has got this right yet. So there is the first mystery idiom, but what is it? What is today's mystery idiom? There are two. There is the first one, and here is the second one. I love this one. It took me a long time yesterday to create this image. So that's what I did yesterday. I spent nearly 3 hours creating these images. So there is the second mystery idiom, and there is the first one. But what are they? Well-known phrases in English, but what are they? The answer's coming a little bit later on. Also, another question to ask today. I'm asking a lot of questions, I know. When you meet someone for the first time, when you meet someone you've never met before in a social situation, do you shake hands or do you hug? Do you like to hug? So if you hug, it means that you greet a person by putting your arms around them. Quite often you will pull them close to you. You will give them a hug. Are you a hugger? Do you like to hug people? So when you meet someone, maybe for the first time, or maybe a friend that you've not seen for a long time, do you shake hands or do you give them a big hug? Do you like to hug? Are you a hugger? I'm going to be honest with you now. I'm not a big fan of hugging. That might surprise you, because I do seem like a friendly soul, but it's true. I'm not a big fan of hugging people. I don't like hugging people, even if it's people I know well. In social situations, I don't like greeting a person by hugging them. But of course, nowadays, especially here in the UK, it has become a normal way of greeting people. So quite often, you will probably end up being hugged if you meet someone for the first time, or maybe even someone you know well. I'm not a fan of it. It might surprise you to find that out, but I don't really like hugging people. I'm not very comfortable with that. Don't ask me why. That's just between me and my psychiatrist. Hello, teacher. Lucy is here. Hello, Lucy. How are you? Thank you very much for joining me today. It's nice to see lots of my regular viewers. Pedro Belmont is here as well. Hello, Pedro. The first thing I normally do when I meet someone is shake their hand. Yes, that's very formal, quite often. Maybe in a job interview. So if you are going for a job interview, quite often you will shake hands. You will say, "Oh, good morning, good morning." But you won't hug. You don't normally hug at job interviews. So perhaps that would be a good tip for me to offer you now. If you go for a job interview, you can shake hands. Yes, that's okay, no problem. But don't hug. You might scare them away, and there is a good chance that you won't get the job. The daily routine I normally do, says Lewis, I normally do after waking up is I go out of my house with a cup of coffee to say hi to some of my neighbours. Oh, that's very kind. That's very nice. Very sociable. I like that. Thank you, Louis, for that. Mohammed says, is your mystery idiom, I'm all ears? No, it isn't. Afghanistan Kunduz says, I like to hug. I like to hug a lot. Yes, some people do. They like to greet a person by hugging them. They hold them. Not me. I'm not a fan of hugging. I'll be honest with you. You might be surprised to find out that not a fan of hugging. Not a fan at all. Hi, Mr. Duncan. I'd like to know why I can understand you so clearly. And when I'm watching a movie or listening to a song, I barely understand. I don't know why. Maybe you need to practice listening to other things. Maybe you need to practice your listening skills in general. But of course, my English is very clear because I speak it as a native language. So I am a native English speaker, and also I am a teacher as well. So it's very important, if you are teaching English, to be understood, or else there's no point doing it. Just in case you are wondering why my voice sounds strange today, I actually, yesterday I did something very strange, very silly. I bit my tongue. I bit into my tongue. So now my tongue is very painful. Very painful. So that's the reason why. So every time I speak today, I am actually suffering pain. A bit like you, really. What I mean by that is that it's painful to listen to me. That's what I mean. When I was 12 years, when I was a 12-year-old girl, I was about to be run over. I was nearly run over by a car. It was the most dangerous thing I've ever done. But I didn't do it myself. So what you are saying, Lena, is that you nearly had an accident. You were nearly hit by a car. So maybe that's something that is also not just dangerous, but also very scary as well, very frightening. So I'm glad to hear that you survived. I'm glad to hear that the car didn't run you over. Very pleased. I need all the viewers I can keep, to be honest. I need all of the viewers. So please, be careful. Yes, Mr. Duncan, I like to... A lot of people like hugging, I've noticed today. A lot of people like hugging. Eugene is here. Hello, Eugene. My usual routine is to do yoga. Am I doing it right? To do yoga. And then I often watch one of Mr. Duncan's lessons. That's me. Wow. Am I really part of your morning routine? I'm very, very honoured. Thank you very much, Eugene, for that. And then I go for a walk around the town and then begin my work. Thank you, Eugene, for that. Catherine. Oh, well done, Catherine. Well done. You have got one of today's mystery idioms correct. Well done to you. Elaine Deval says, I can't hug somebody that I meet for the first time. Me too. I feel very uncomfortable hugging anyone as a way of greeting. So if you meet someone maybe in the street, quite often, certainly in this country, people will want to put their arms around you and give you a hug, but I must admit, it makes me feel very uncomfortable. So thank you, Elaine. I also, if I am familiar with the person, I can't hug them. So Elaine can't hug strangers or people he knows. Charia Rimmer is here. Hello to you. Thanks for joining me today on my live stream. It's live English all the way. We are now coming up to 3 o'clock. It's coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK, and this is Mr. Duncan in England. In a few moments we will go outside, but First of all, let's take a look at what Mr. Steve was doing today. Mr. Steve was very busy today in the garden. Can you see him there? He is busily sweeping. He is cleaning. He's getting rid of the old leaves, and he is doing some maintenance in the garden. We can call it gardening. So we can say that Mr. Steve is gardening, or that he's doing some gardening chores, or that he is doing some garden maintenance. So there are very many ways. There are many ways of expressing what Mr. Steve is doing at the moment. So there he was this morning, very busy in the garden, sweeping the leaves with his big brush or broom. So the thing that Mr. Steve is holding can be called a brush, or it can be called a broom. Broom. Mr. Steve setting a very good example there, I must admit. He's doing very well there. What do you think? Do you think Mr. Steve's gardening is good? What's he doing now? He's about to clear up some leaves, but what's he going to do with them? Mr. Steve, what are you doing? You're supposed to put the rubbish into the bin. Yes, look at him there. He's laughing. What a cheeky man. So we are now going to go outside. Shall we go outside and have a flash phrase or a flash word? Which would you like? And of course you will see that Mr. Steve has cleaned the garden. There it is now. There is the garden now. That is what it looks like. A live view of the garden. And now we are going to go outside. It was raining earlier. So now we are going to go outside into the garden. You'll hear me talking in a minute. Oh, hello there. I hope you can hear me okay. The reason why the camera is indoors today is because it was raining, so I thought if I put the camera behind the glass, and even if it rains, the camera won't get wet. So at the moment it's not raining, but I have a feeling it's going to rain very soon. Here we go then. It is a flash word. Oh, here it is. Today's flash word is disgruntled. Disgruntled. Today's flash word is disgruntled. The word disgruntled is an adjective that means to be unhappy or dissatisfied about something. If something has upset or made you feel displeased, we can say that you are disgruntled. You feel disgruntled. I can see you are disgruntled by this new arrangement. He stood there looking disgruntled. To say I feel disgruntled is an understatement. Then there is disgruntle, which is a verb that means to make someone feel unhappy or dissatisfied with something. The word disgruntle literally means to make little grunts. So to be disgruntled means to be upset or annoyed or unhappy about something. Do you like the garden? I think Mr. Steve has done a very good job of the garden. It looks so clean now. Look at that. How clean and tidy everything looks very nice. Now I will go back into the studio. I'm back. Oh, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. A very unsettled day today with the weather because we've had lots of rain this morning, then it dried, and now it looks as if it's going to rain again. Congratulations once again to Mr. Steve for making such a good job of the garden. There he was this morning, sweeping up the leaves. I think he did a really good job. Look at that, working so hard. And you know what? He does it all for free. He doesn't even charge for it. Isn't that nice? And now... and now the garden looks like this. Isn't it nice? Well done, Mr. Steve. If you would like Mr. Steve to come and do your gardening, please let me know. The mystery idioms, for those who haven't seen them yet, there is the first one, and there is the second one. The first one again. But what are they? Estella Villoria says, Mr. Duncan, we normally kiss the cheeks when we meet friends. Which cheeks do you mean? Do you mean the ones on your face? I hope so. Estella, yes, in some countries, when you greet someone, you will actually give them a kiss, normally on each cheek. Quite often, I think in Italy, and I think also in France, and also in many Middle Eastern countries as well. So you will greet by maybe hugging and also kissing as well on the cheek. Sometimes one cheek and sometimes both. MX25A says, hugging a stranger. Oh gosh, it's so weird. I think so. I also don't like hugging people. I'm not very good at that. I feel a little uncomfortable when I'm doing that. Catherine says, I have a magnificent garden with lots to do. Will you please come on holiday? Do you mean me or Mr. Steve? Maybe Mr. Steve, because Mr. Steve is the gardener, not me. I hate gardening. So here is Mr. Steve again in the garden. I don't like gardening, but Mr. Steve loves doing it. I think he's a bit weird, to be honest. Oh, look, he's getting tired now. He's starting to feel tired. Oh, he's been very busy today. So this was taken this morning. This video was this morning. Did you see then he just walked into the bird bath? He just knocked the bird bath. Mika Ode is here. Hello, Mika. Thank you for joining me today. Wherever you are watching today, lots of people watching all around the world. So many countries. Mika Ode says, in the morning I prepare my breakfast, then I push the button to start the laundry machine, then I sweep the floor, I have my breakfast, I wash my face, brush my teeth, and I also do my makeup. All of that in just 1 hour. Wow, that sounds like a very hectic morning. It really does. Very hectic. I love that word, hectic. Daniela Roas says, my morning routine is like this. I touch the bedside table, looking for my glasses. I put them on and then I open my eyes. I know if you wear glasses, one of the problems with wearing glasses is that in the morning, quite often, you can't find them because you can't see. That's one of the paradoxes of wearing glasses. If you take your glasses off and then you can't find them, then of course it's going to be virtually impossible to find your glasses because you don't have your glasses on. Shira Blade, or Peter, we will call you Peter, shall we? Hi, Mr. Duncan. I'd like to know why I can understand you so clearly. I think I've answered that already. I've answered that one already. The live chat has frozen. Bonjour, Mr. Duncan. Best wishes to you from the chat with Mr. Duncan. I'm really glad to meet you in this chat and greet you from Moscow, says Lena. Thank you, Lena. As I mentioned just now, there are people watching all around the world. Let's have a look at another video, shall we? I mentioned earlier the fact that nouns can sometimes be used as verbs. Now we are going to take a look at one of my YouTube videos talking all about the very same subject. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. In my last lesson, if you remember, I set a question for you. I asked you to name the English word that has the most definitions and uses within a sentence. It's time now to give you the answer to that question. The word with the most definitions and uses, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, is, with 464 uses and definitions, the word set. Did you get it right? I hope so. But don't worry if you didn't. In today's lesson, we will take a look at one of the many exceptional situations that exist within the English language. In this case, where a noun can also be used as a verb. As you know, a noun is a word that is used to show the name of an object. It is a naming word. For most of the time, nouns can only be used in the context of naming something. However, there are situations where a noun can magically transform itself into a verb. A naming word becomes a doing word. That's a really funny story. I'll tell you another one tomorrow. Here are some examples of the magical transformation between a noun and a verb. In my hand I have a brush. Brush is a noun. It describes this object. However, It can also be used as a verb. When I brush my long and beautiful and silky hair. Wow. Yeah. Wow, I'm enjoying this. Oh, that's so much better. So the word brush can also be used as a verb. I brush my hair. Another simple example for you now. Pen. Pen is a noun. It describes this object, as you can see. But also, pen can be a verb. When I pen a letter to my friend, I will pen a story. You can use the word pen as both a noun and a verb. There are many examples of where a noun becomes a verb, such as
bag, dress, drill, film, fish, groom, hand, hose, key, lock, mop, phone, pipe, polish, rake, run, saw, shower, slide, spray, study, tap, vacuum, vault, wall.
It's worth remembering not all nouns can be used as verbs, and not all verbs can be used as nouns. Before I finish my lesson, I would like to say a special hello to all my new friends watching in Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Taiwan, Portugal, Chile and Iran. Thank you very much for watching all of my lessons. This is Mr. Duncan in England, giving you a wave and saying I hope you can watch me again soon. Bye-bye for now.
And there it was, one of my lessons from many, many years ago, going back to 2008. Such a long time ago, 9 years ago. One of my lessons all about nouns and verbs. And you can see behind me also a list of words that are nouns and also can be used as verbs as well. I've also been looking at my phone. In fact, I've been doing that whilst the lesson was playing. And let's have a quick look because we have some messages coming through now. We have one here. Maria says, oh, I have a picture of my fidget spinner. Oh, I see. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your spinner, shall we? It normally takes a very long time for the picture to open, so please bear with me. Oh, I see, yes. So there is your spinner. So you have a red one. This seems to be the most popular design of spinner, the one that has the holes in. So my spinner, if you look, my spinner doesn't have holes. It is actually solid and also very heavy. I think this one is made of plastic, but mine is made of metal and it's very, very heavy. So there is the first spinner on the email. If you have a fidget spinner that you would like to show me, please let me know. Please send it my way to my email address. Thank you, Maria Gonzalez. Thank you very much, and happy spinning. If you would like to get in touch with me, if you'd like to say hello via email, or to send me any photographs you have, anything you would like to show me, perhaps you would like to show me your fidget spinner, as it were. There are many ways to get in touch with me, many ways to stay in touch with Mr. Duncan. And that is what we are doing today. Live English all the way, 20 minutes past 3 o'clock. I am with you for another 40 minutes. And then I'm gone. Back to the live chat. Ismail is here. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Good afternoon to everybody from Turkey. Hello to Turkey. This hat, the hat I am wearing today, came all the way from Turkey. When I went to visit Turkey a few years ago, I actually purchased this hat. I bought it and I brought it back to England with me. Simona is here. Hello, Simona. I won't hug a person that I've never met before, but I would hug you. Do you mean me? Okay. But please give me a warning so I can run away. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Duncan, every culture has their own greetings. Did you know that there are lots of different handshakes around the world? I didn't know that. Are there many different types of handshake? I didn't know that. I only know one, which is you put your hand in the other person's hand and shake it. Some people have very soft handshakes, and some people have very strong handshakes. Like Donald Trump. He has a very strong grip, apparently. Joe Gallo says, I'm going to give you a big hug from NJ. NJ. I think that might be New Jersey. I think so. In the United States. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. We didn't used to do it here. Many years ago, we didn't hug each other. We didn't do it. So we would do it now and again, or with people we felt comfortable with. But now, here in the UK, you even hug strangers if you meet them in the street. Maybe you are introduced to someone, or maybe a person you only know vaguely. People will hug you. They will hug you. They will want to put their arms around you and pull you to them. But not for me, I'm afraid. I'm a little bit... I don't like being hugged, to be honest. I'm not a fan. Mohammed says, is your mystery idiom turn a deaf ear? Turn a deaf ear. Let's have a look. So these are today's mystery idioms. There is the first one. No, it is not turn a deaf ear. And there is the second one. I think we've had a couple of correct answers. I think we've had maybe 2 correct answers for this. So there is the second mystery idiom, and there is the first one. But what are they? What are they? I went to the dentist on Wednesday. Do you like going to the dentist? I don't like going to the dentist, even though I do feel very guilty because my dentist is lovely. It's a lovely, lovely man, very kind, very pleasant, very polite, very gentle. But I don't like going to the dentist. So I have nothing against my dentist. He's a really nice guy. But I don't like going to the dentist. Just in case my dentist is watching. Terracotta Army. Perhaps you are in China. Maybe you are watching in Xi'an. Hello everyone from Terracotta Army. Hello to you. Where are you watching at the moment? Elaine says, Mr. Duncan, you must remember that I'm French, as I can't hug with someone I don't know well. I also can't say tu instead of vous. For English people, it is easy because you use the same word, you. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yes, vous, V-O-U-S. Maria says, I don't like hugging people. I just hug my family. That's okay. If it's people that are close to you, I mean, I love giving my mum a hug. I love giving people who are close to me hugs. My loved ones. Of course, that's okay. There's no problem there. But I'm not very comfortable when it comes to hugging strangers. I don't like it. Back to the live chat. Lots of people today talking to me on the live chat. I finished school 15 years ago and I went to university 5 years ago where I studied English and German for being a teacher. Your Russian is not so bad, by the way. Do you mean my Russian? I'm not sure if I've ever spoken Russian on my live streams, although sometimes I do say privet, which means hello in Russian. Mr. Duncan, sorry, but I don't know who Mr. Steve is. Thank you, Roberto. Who is Mr. Steve? Here he is. This is Mr. Steve. How could you not know who Mr. Steve is? There he is, look. There he is. This morning he was busy in the garden. He was preparing the garden for me. Isn't that very, very, very kind of him? Very kind. Come on, Mr. Steve. That's it. Put those leaves into the bin. Come on. Faster. Faster. I think he's getting tired. Can you tell? He's getting a bit tired there. What's that? What did he just put on the ground there? Did you see that? What is it? Let's have a closer look. Oh, it is a pair of secateurs. Oh, I see. Oh, what's going on now? Oh, Mr. Steve is being attacked by one of the vines. Very nice. So there was Mr. Steve this morning, and now the garden looks lovely. So there it is, a live view of the garden. So that is how the garden looks now. It looks lovely. The birds are flying down because they are hungry, and everything in the world is okay. Almost. Sami Keja says, I like hugging women only. Okay, fair enough. Jamila says, I never hug people when I meet them for the first time. Thank you, Jamila. You are very similar to me. I don't like hugging people that I'm not familiar with. Julie G says, I hate it when someone shakes my hand and he is talking and still shaking my hand for a long time. Oh, I see, yes. I hate hugging as a greeting, says Julie. Yes, sometimes when you meet someone and they shake your hand, they will carry on shaking it for a very long time. They will say, hi, it's very good to meet you. I'm really pleased to meet you. How are you? How are you doing? It's been such a long time since we met. They don't stop. I know what you mean. Mr. Duncan, don't be angry with your tongue. My tongue is a pain today. My tongue is a pain in the arse today because it's hurting me. Literally, it's a pain because yesterday I bit my tongue. I bit it whilst I was eating my lunch. So yesterday I bit my tongue and now it is very painful. So every word that I'm speaking today feels very painful. Sorry, Mr. Duncan. Lena was talking about my Russian, not yours. Oh, I see. Thank you, Elaine, for putting that right. It is because I answered Lena in English and Russian as well in your chat. Oh, I see. I don't mind. I like it when people talk to each other in my live chat. It's very nice, isn't it? It's a lovely feeling. And the thing is, when you chat through the internet, you don't have to give them a hug as well. That's another good reason. Hi, Mr. Duncan. Your garden looks lovely. Thank you, Abdullah, for that. You are very kind. Randall is here. Mr. Steve was fighting for his life. We like amazing wild video. Thank you, Randall, for that. Would you like to see Mr. Steve again? Here he is, doing the gardening. He was such a busy bee. Oh, no. Oh, he's being attacked again. Between you and me, I think Mr. Steve is a bit crazy. That's what I think. Good morning, Mr. Duncan and everyone. Rosa is here. Hello, Rosa. Welcome. Welcome to my live chat. I am suffering a lot today because I have hay fever and also I've hurt my tongue as well. I bit it yesterday. So I'm really, really suffering. Garda is here. Garda says, thank you, Mr. Duncan. You're thanking me for what? Why? Mohammed says, tear off your ears. No, the mystery idiom is not tear off your ears. It's actually the opposite. Think of the opposite. Think of doing the opposite thing. Think of doing the opposite. To take. And there is the second mystery idiom. But what is it? I have been asked about my mystery idioms. I do create these myself. So these are not stolen from anyone else. I actually create these myself using Photoshop. We don't hug strangers, but we do shake hands and also kiss the cheeks of acquaintances. Says Daniela. I'm not sure about kissing. You see, here in the UK, we still don't kiss. We don't kiss on the cheeks or on the lips. We definitely don't do that to people we don't know. Well, some people do, but that's another story altogether. Hello, Mr. Duncan. What do you think about shadowing to improve fluency? That comes from Wolfram. I think shadowing is a good thing. I have no problem with it. There are teachers on YouTube who talk a lot about shadowing. So yes, I think shadowing, following what someone is saying and copying or listening and then repeating what a person is saying. There are many ways of doing it. But yes, I think shadowing is a very good way of improving your fluency. And you can use it also to improve your listening. Olga is here. Hello, Olga. I haven't seen you today so far. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Mr. Duncan. When I was in the UK, sometimes people hugged me and pretended to kiss my cheek. I was very confused with this habit before I realised that there was no actual intention to kiss me. Yes, Olga, sometimes people will do fake kisses. So they will give you fake kisses. They will go but they won't actually kiss you. So they will make the sound and they will make the movement, but they won't actually kiss you. So yes, that's true. So you can do something called a fake kiss. So you hold them and you kiss without actually coming into contact with their face. So your lips do not actually kiss. Eugene has said, yes, Eugene, you have said that the mystery idiom, you are very close. You are near, very close. Nishant says, Mr. Duncan, can you please tell me the difference between take out and take of? I think you mean take off, not take of. We don't tend to say take of, but we do say take off. Take out means to carry something from indoors to the outside. So you can take something out. You can also take a person out. It means to go out with a person for a meal or to go to the cinema. So quite often when two people go on a date, we can say that they are going out, or one person takes the other person out. They take them out. Or of course, if you take your family out, you can take your family out for a day at the zoo, or you can take your family out for a picnic. Take off means to remove. So normally we use take off to mean remove, or of course to leave the ground. So an aeroplane will take off. Yes, they kiss the air, says Jamila. Yes, that's what they do. So they don't really kiss. They actually kiss the air. What's the point? Joe Fix is here. Hello, Joe Fix. I am Italian and we always give 2 kisses on the cheeks. 2 kisses. But I do not kiss for real. I do the fake kiss. Yes. Quite often in many European countries, kissing as a way of greeting is quite common. I think Spain and Italy and France and sometimes here in the UK as well. But many years ago we didn't do that. We used to not do that at all. Because sometimes British people can be very reserved sometimes. But not so much now. Maria says, why do you use auxiliary do in affirmative sentences? Well, do can mean carry out. You can do something. So doing or do something. Yes, no problem there. Don't worry about it. Rita says, in Brazil, kisses on the face and hugs to strange people are part of the routine, especially in Rio de Janeiro. I do not feel good with the hugs. I agree with you. Sami Keja hates to shake hands. I hate shaking hands when the hand is wet. So when the hand is wet or sweaty, you don't like to shake hands. I agree. Garda says, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we also use the fake kiss, not the real kiss. Okay, very good, very good. Mystery idioms once again, and then we will have another video clip. So these are today's mystery idioms. But what are they? What are today's mystery idioms? I will give you the answer towards the end of today's lesson, towards the finish. When we leave at 2 o'clock, I will give you, 4 o'clock, I will give you the answer to the mystery idioms. But what are they? What are they? Thanks a lot for joining me today. It is Live English with Mr. Duncan in England. Rita says in Brazil, the kisses on the face and the hugs to strange people are part of the routine. Oh, I think I've already read that one. That seems very familiar. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Today it's Sugar Festival. Oh, I see. Okay. Today it is Sugar Festival. We also kiss 4 or 5 times on each side of the face. I always get confused because I don't know how many times I must kiss. Sometimes it is funny. Thank you, Mohammed Elibraki. Thank you very much for that. The Sugar Festival. I've never heard of that, but it sounds sweet. Jerome says, hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, Jerome. Thank you for joining me today. Is there anything that you have done in the past that is dangerous? What is the most dangerous thing you have ever done? Many years ago, I used to ride a motorbike. There I am on my motorbike. So that was possibly the most dangerous thing that I've ever done in my life. I think so. But what's the most dangerous thing you've ever done? And when you meet someone, do you shake their hand or do you give them a hug? Do you like to hug? Personally, I'm not a big fan of hugging. I don't mind shaking hands. Shaking hands is okay. Hugging, not so good. I'm not a fan of hugging, to be honest. Lena says, I turned 32 on the 15th of June. Wow, congratulations on your birthday from a few days ago. I am giving private English lessons from home to school children of all ages. Well done, Lena. I hope your home schooling is going well. I hope your private English lessons are going well. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am now waving my hand, says Zana. Hello, Zana. I'm waving my hand as well. Can you see me? Yes. Isn't it great? Isn't technology amazing? It really is. Let's have a look at another video clip. This is from one of my October lessons. One of my October lessons that I did in 2013. And in this video, I'm talking about different types of tools. Insert screw C into hole B. Insert screw C into hole D or E. It must be E. Oh, this is so confusing. Good morning. Hello there. Welcome to day 4 of 31 days of Dunktober. Can you guess what I'm doing today? Can you guess? I am at the moment trying to build a new piece of furniture for my studio. This, apparently, is supposed to be the desk for my studio, for my Ask Mr. Duncan episodes. At the moment, it's in lots of bits all over the place. There's some over there still packed away, and there's a little bit here that I've taken out. I need to assemble this. I need to put it together. I have my instructions here, but the instructions are not very clear. I have lots of bits and pieces, some little bits of metal that I have to put in this somewhere. I still don't know where. I have some wooden pegs that I have to knock in, and some other little plastic bits. I have no idea what these are for. I'm sure I'll find out soon if I read this carefully. I have some tools as well. Ooh, look at my tools. I have 2 screwdrivers. I have a flathead screwdriver, a flathead, and something called a Phillips screwdriver. You probably know this screwdriver as the one with the little cross at the end. And you use both of these for screwing. And I have a hammer, a little tiny hammer. This hammer will come in very useful later when I get really angry and start smashing things up. No, not really. So, let's get started. I thought it would be fun to take a look at some of the implements I have inside my big toolbox.
What's inside Mr. Duncan's big toolbox?
These are the screwdrivers I am using today. One is a flathead screwdriver and the other is a Phillips head screwdriver. The actions connected with this tool depend on what you are doing with it. You screw something in. You unscrew something. You are screwing something in. You are unscrewing something. This is the hammer I am using to tap the wooden pegs into place. There are many different types of hammer, from the small, lightweight one used for tapping in small nails, right up to the larger and much heavier sledgehammer. The action of using this tool is hammering. You hammer something. Here is another tool that I use quite often. This is an adjustable wrench. It can also be called an adjustable spanner. Wrench is used in American English, while spanner is used more in British English. This tool is useful because it can be easily adjusted. You only need one spanner instead of lots of different sized ones. Another useful tool for gripping things is this pair of pliers. Pliers come in many different sizes depending on what you are trying to grab and pull. Some pliers are also able to cut things. Here is another useful tool. This is a spirit level. It is used for checking how straight and level a surface is. When building something, a straight edge is always important. This is a file. It is used for smoothing down a rough surface or edge. The action of using this tool is called filing. You file something down. There are many different sizes and types of file. This looks like a hammer, but it is not. This is a mallet. Mallets have a broad head and come in many sizes. They are often used for knocking objects into the ground. Mallets are normally made of wood or rubber. Another type of pliers for you now. These can be locked into place. Very useful for undoing or removing something that is stiff or hard to move. This is called a mole wrench or locking pliers. This is a chisel. This sharp-edged tool is used for chipping and carving. This tool is normally used with a small hammer or mallet. The action is called chiseling. You chisel something. Now here's a very useful tool. It's called a retractable tape measure. This allows you to measure very long things easily. The wonderful thing about this is that it is retractable, so you can keep it in your pocket. And there it was. I love the way that ended so suddenly. It almost caught me out. It almost did. So there it was. I look at some tools, some things that coming very useful when you have some jobs to do around the house. We call it DIY. DIY, which means do it yourself. If you've just joined me, you are here with me for another 10 minutes. We are now 10 minutes away from 4 o'clock. I will be leaving you in around about 10 minutes. Don't forget you can watch this live stream later with subtitles. Yes, there are captions available later when this video is saved on YouTube. Don't forget also underneath the videos, including this one, all of my playlists are available under this video. Right under this video. All of my playlists are available to watch. Also, just in case you want to follow me on the internet, because I am all over the internet, trust me, you can follow me on Facebook. There I am. There is my Facebook page. You can follow me on Facebook, and there is the address. You can see the address at the bottom. And also you can follow me on Instagram as well. I do have an Instagram account, an Instagram for Mr. Duncan to upload his pictures. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, there is the address. Also, if you wish to help my work to continue, if you wish to help it continue forever and ever and ever, you can also make a small donation every month on Patreon as well. And there it is once again, my Facebook page. Lots of people follow me on Facebook, and you can see that that is my official Facebook page because I have the little blue tick. Can you see the blue tick next to my name? So you know that that is the real Mr. Duncan Facebook page. And that's it really. So today we have done a lot of things. I went to the dentist on Wednesday. I also bit my tongue yesterday. My tongue is now injured. I have injured my tongue. Can you believe it? Back to the live chat. I am Rui, watching from Brazil. I am 43 and I want to improve my English skills with Mr. Duncan. Thank you, Rui. You are in the best place, the right place. Good choice. Good choice. Piranika is here. The most dangerous thing that you've done. I have rolled on a skateboard down a big mountain into the town. It was so scary and dangerous. Skateboards. I remember way back in the 1970s when skateboards were very popular. Many years ago. All of the cool kids in the 1970s had skateboards. And here we are now in 2017, and many of the cool kids once again have skateboards. It's strange how things come around again and again. It's very strange. I've had a question come in. What does throw in the towel mean? There it is. It is a phrase, an English phrase, throw in the towel. I have been asked to explain what it means. If you throw in the towel, it means that you quit. You quit. You give up. You stop doing the thing you were doing. You stop doing the thing you were doing. You throw in the towel. You stop. You end. You quit. You throw in the towel. So I hope that helps you there. Just another 7 minutes to go. Wow, we are going soon. Oh, it's not fair, Mr. Duncan. Can you please stay on for longer? No, I can't, I'm afraid. I have other things to do. Also, my tongue is very painful today because yesterday I bit my tongue. And today it is very painful. It is swollen and painful. Are you a DIY enthusiast? From time to time, I do some DIY jobs. Many years ago, I used to be a painter and decorator. Many years ago. So that skill still comes in handy. So in this house, when I moved to this house, all of the house needed painting, it needed decorating, and I did it all. I did it myself. So sometimes having a certain skill can come in very useful. Hello, here in Italy we have a hot Sunday. Well, today it's very hot here, but it's not very bright. The weather outside at the moment, it's quite dull. There it is. There is the weather outside. That is a live view of my garden. It looks very tidy now. And the reason why it looks so tidy is because Mr. Steve this morning was very busy tidying the garden. There he is, look, working so hard. By the way, if you would like Mr. Steve to come and do your gardening for you, please send me an email. And a plane ticket. So that is where we leave Mr. Steve with his gardening. Thank you once again, Mr. Steve, for making the garden look so lovely. And there it is again. Doesn't it look nice? Very lovely. Back to the live chat, and then I will give you the answers to today's mystery idioms. Mr. Duncan, what do you do after your live lesson has finished? Well, quite often, certainly today, I will go into the kitchen and I will begin preparing my supper, my dinner, my evening dinner, my late meal. So I will start doing that. Tonight I am having salmon. Delicious. Every Sunday I always have some salmon for my evening meal. Delicious. Can Mr. Steve please come and clean my garden in Brazil? Thank you, Rosa, for that. As I said, Mr. Steve is available to clean your garden, to make it look lovely. All you have to do is send a plane ticket. That's all you have to do. It's as simple as that. Throw in the towel can mean surrender. Yes, if you throw in the towel, you give up, you surrender. Yes, throw in the towel can be used in many ways. You quit, you throw in the towel, you surrender, you give up, you give in. Hi from India, says Cool Man. Hello, Cool Man. Thank you for joining me today. I do believe that in India at the moment it is in fact very hot. So I'm glad to hear that you are staying cool. Mr. Duncan, I have learned a very nice idiom, to skate on thin ice. It means to do something dangerous. Yes, that's a very good idiom. If you skate on thin ice, it means you do something that's very risky or dangerous. You skate on thin ice. Mr. Duncan, you have a drill. Yes, I have 3 drills. 3 of them. And they are very useful for making holes. Catherine says, would you like a return ticket or a single ticket? I think Mr. Steve would probably like a return ticket. So he will come across to your country, he will do your gardening, and then he will go back to the airport and come back to the UK. It sounds very fair to me. Very fair. Let's have a look now at the mystery idioms. So here we go. Here is the first mystery idiom. I thought these were quite difficult. I thought the first one was very difficult, actually. Very difficult. So this is quite a difficult word, a difficult idiom to get right. So I don't think anyone got this right. I don't think so. So the first idiom that I gave you today to guess, lend an ear. If you lend an ear, it means you listen to someone. You listen to what someone says. You listen carefully to someone. You lend an ear. It's a great expression, that. Lend an ear. So if you lend an ear, it means you listen or you pay attention to what someone is saying. You lend an ear. Maybe someone has some news to tell you, something very exciting. They might ask you to lend an ear or to listen carefully. The second mystery idiom, there it is, but what is the answer? I thought this one was a little easier than the first one, a little easier. So here is the second mystery idiom. Quite a few people got this right. Yes, in fact, yes, many of you got this right. So well done. The answer is throw your toys out of the pram. I love this expression. It means that you lose your temper or you have a tantrum if something doesn't go your way, if something doesn't go to how you wanted it. You will have a tantrum. You will become very moody. You will sulk. You will become sulky. You will throw a tantrum. You throw your toys out of the pram. Just like a baby sometimes. When a baby gets angry, it will start screaming and crying. And quite often a baby will throw its toys out of the pram. So there it is. Today's mystery idioms. Throw your toys out of the pram and lend an ear. We have 2 more mystery idioms coming next Sunday. Don't forget, I am with you next Sunday from 2 o'clock UK time once again. Every Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. And don't forget, during the week also, I will do a surprise stream. I will suddenly pop up on YouTube as hopefully a pleasant surprise. So I will be with you. I will be with you next Sunday from 2 o'clock. And of course, during the week with one of my famous surprise streams. Eugene says, I like the second idiom very much. Very nice. Mr. Duncan, your studio looks very modern. Thank you very much for that, Lee Ha. Yes, this is my little studio. This is where I present my live English streams every single Sunday. And of course, next Sunday I will be back. And it's a new month as well next week. Don't forget, we will be in July next Sunday. So I will see you then. It's now 4 o'clock. It's time for Mr. Duncan to say goodbye. Parting is such sweet sorrow. It really is. It is now 1 p.m. in Germany. It is now 2 p.m. in the UK. It is time for me to go. Thanks a lot for joining me today. It's been a very busy one. I hope next Sunday my tongue will be healed up, because it's very painful today. Because yesterday I did something very stupid. I bit my tongue. And today it's very painful. I will go. I will say goodbye to Olga, to Ute, Leha, Eliana, Joan, See you, Joan. Elaine, thank you very much. Julie G is also saying goodbye. Goodbye to everyone. Thank you very much for following me today. See you next Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Thank you, Zana. You are very welcome. You are welcome. You are always welcome to join me on my live streams whenever they are. Ming Hui says 88. That means bye-bye. Because number 8 in Chinese is bye. So if you say 88, you actually say bye-bye. It's funny. Goodbye, Mr. Duncan. See you next week. Thank you, Ching. Josephix, see you later. I am going right now. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English, saying thanks a lot for following me today. Don't forget, you can catch me on Facebook. You can also follow me on YouTube with all of my English lessons. They can be followed. They can be watched. Everything I have ever made on YouTube is available under this video. All of my lessons, all of my playlists are under this video. Time for me to go. I will see you next Sunday. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching me today, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye, Estella. Bye, Simona. Bye to everyone. Have a good week. Until next week. This is Mr. Duncan for the last time today saying thanks for following me, thanks for watching me, and thanks for joining in. And of course, ta-ta for now.